and we started making names right away. And I loved it. I was robbing drug dealers, and taking their gold right off their neck. And the shit we did, who's gonna call the police on you? A drug dealer?
I can identify with anything that was normal, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
99% of the time, you're gonna disagree.
Just like the Donnie Brasco situation with Lefty.
Yeah, because the reason why, they figure it this way. You brought this guy around, he ratted on everybody, now he ratted on you. You might turn around and join him and rat on us, so we get rid of you, there's no connection between there and there, and they get rid of you.
People and get away with it, but yeah, so that was one of the tougher ones.
Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Larry Mazza, former Colombo crime family made man, and he's an author, actor, all kinds of stuff on his resume. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on. And I'd say I'm an aspiring actor. I had a few good parts. My first one was in The Irishman, so I started at the top, but got a few more after that. So, and I'm waiting for one with Mike Madsen if this pandemic ever ends.
Yeah, man, it'll be good. I can't wait to see those. I've been watching. I watched the Irishman, the hit scene, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, well, they cut that down a lot too because it was a tough one. They had to keep breaking the mirror, and because I guess Anastasia, when he jumped out of the seat, he hit the mirror.
Yeah,
trying to chase the shooters, so they sort of tailored out the shooting and everything. But hey, it was still a step in the door.
Yeah, I mean that's a big first step.
Yeah.
And then working with Robert De Niro too.
De Niro, Scorsese. My wife actually got to watch him as he was filming the scene through the camera. He let her look through the camera too, so that was fun. And then ultimately Nick Pileggi, who's writing now. So yeah, no, I called it back then cinematic royalty. That's what you can't get any higher.
No, yeah. I got a bunch of questions for you. I want to start off with like how far, because everybody knows how you met Greg Scarpa and how things transpired. Right. So I want to know how long after you met Greg did he start involving you with things? How long did it take? Well,
like the first 2 years, don't forget, it was a year and a half was me and Linda. So then in the next 6 months, when after the first year and a half, those next 6 months, he brought me into the legitimate business. So I'd say, 2.5 years, little by little, once the legitimate business, the supply company that we owned, they owned and I managed, it just dissolved the company. They actually had a big fire, and I was in no man's land. So probably a little after 2 years, I got into the numbers business, and that's the lowest level business you could get into, and that's where it starts. And then little by little, you get deeper and deeper.
So can you tell me of any situations that you were involved with that you haven't told anybody?
Well, not really. I mean, in one way or another, it's been told. I talked about the guy that called him a rat and he shot him right across the desk. We know about the one with Little Linda. Then there was the one on 86th Street where one of two brothers, the first brother got killed just a few weeks earlier. And the second brother, I want to say Albie and Patty, their names were, threatened Teddy Persico Jr. So there was an open contract on this guy. And that's when we did on 86th Street, where it was just packed with people and cops. And it's amazing how we got it done and got out of there with no trouble.
What's going through your mind when you see you pull up and you see all these people around? Like what are you thinking?
We weren't going to do it. I mean, we pulled over, and Joe Brewster, who was in the car with me, went to the payphone. We didn't have cell phones at the time, and called Greg and told him it's impossible. I said, there's cops on horses, they're on motorcycles, all over the place. That's, if 86th Street in Brooklyn, it's like that avenue where everybody cruises and locals hang out and there's music playing. It's just a big hangout, like you see
like the main street.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but when he called Greg, his answer was, "I'll be right there." And he got in the car, came, and we saw what he was doing. He was blocking traffic for us, so nobody could move. We made our move. About 12 shots later, we were leaving with the crash car and the shooters and everything like that. And he was following behind us, right back to his house. So, but no, what's going through your mind is, how are we going to do it with cops all around? We don't get a shootout with them. I mean, it's pretty much, we weren't crazy. Unlike today, we, believe it or not, respected the police. We didn't expect, we could just start shooting people and get away with it. But yeah, so that was one of the tougher ones.
So did they have like was a major rule not to kill innocent civilians?
Well, it certainly is a rule. Now, it's happened by mistake more than once, a couple of times that I know of. And during the war, we were lucky enough not to do it, but and sometimes smart enough where we called things off. But the other side, Arena's side, hurt a few innocent people, 2 or 3, and one was a major, the one with the innocent kid in the bagel store, who had nothing to even do with the war, and that really brought the feds in heavy. So,
is there any situations that when you were like working for Greg, that maybe you might have got yourself involved in, that you were like, oh shit, if Greg finds out, I'm in trouble? Not
really, because I had the nickname Legitimate Larry, so I wasn't really that gung ho on doing too many different things. Never got into drugs. I was doing, I had my number business that I was part of. He knew early on I was real good with numbers, and I actually helped him grow that along with the sports business. And I pretty much, as I say, stayed in my lane. That's what I did. When they, so to say I did anything out of the way, I don't think I did. I really don't.
Was there a lot of people in your crew that were dealing drugs?
There came a time where Greg Jr. had a really good idea, for that life, to tax all drug dealers. Why should they? Every other crime is, you can't just be a bookmaker, you can't just be a Shylock, you can't just be a thief without kicking into the families. Yeah. So these guys were all out there making a fortune, more than we were making, and he started taxing them. And if they didn't pay their 25% or whatever it was, I think that was the percentage, they got hurt or killed. And this really escalated, and it got to the point where we were under constant surveillance at the club. And also the greed took over, where now they made a contact to supply to the dealers. So now it just became a whole new level. Now it was like, I used it a lot, Scarface. It became like Scarface. They had to buy from Scarface, and everybody had to pay Scarface, and it just got way out of hand. And it was the downfall for Greg Jr.'s crew.
Like, how do they pick the drug dealers that they tax?
They went after everyone, any and everyone. There's nothing they could do. They can't go to another made guy because drugs are taboo. They can't go to the law because drugs are against the law. So it really was a good idea, and yeah. I to this day, I think it was, it made sense almost. But once they overstepped it, and, I guess started moving, bringing and touching, it just became, and he knows that. I spoke to Gregory about that. We laugh about it now because he's home, and, we're able to talk about the mistakes, and, we agree on a lot of things. So even on that, I got to show this. My friend Glenn's going to watch this. You see what it says?
No, I can't see it.
Well, it's a coffee cup that says The Life.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, he bought it for me, so it was a little gift. So I want to let him know that I use it. I told him I'll use it on the podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. So when the war's going on, the other side that you're dealing with, are you in constant communication with them, or did you cut off all communication with the other side?
Early on, we were actually playing both sides. We were sort of in the middle, so we were going about our business. We weren't, nobody else was paying each other. but the arena side was paying us, and we were still doing business. But there came a time where they knew now we were on Junior's side, and then all business stopped, and there was no communication other than meetings that was supposed to be peaceful talks to try to put the thing back together. But Greg told whoever was going to the meeting, usually Carmine Sessa and Richie Fusco, that the first question you ask is whether they recognize Junior Persico as the boss. If they do, if they say yes, you continue talking and figure out the administration, how we're going to put it back together. If they say no, get up and walk out. There's nothing else to discuss. So if Greg was at the meeting, that's what would have happened. And if we were there with him, no, goodbye and good luck. But, you know, some of the guys that were at the meeting,
stay tuned and you'll see part 2 of that. Thank you for that donation, Louis the Lion. I really appreciate it. For everyone that's tuning in, I really appreciate you taking the time. I got a lot of good stuff I'm going to be dropping. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Part 2 will be out in a couple days. I got a lot of things I'm going to be dropping. I might go live later, and someone might be joining me. So I'll see you guys soon. I hope you guys all have a great night. Peace.